engulfing as it encounters a powerful energy field over pine bush. The presence of anomalous energies has been cited as one of the 4 factors that identify UFO hotspots. Dr. Ted Ackworth and optical physicist Bruce Maccabee analyzed the photograph.
This is a stabilized camera. It's obviously not moving in a perfectly straight line. It looks like it's a wavy motion. And then it looks like a huge burst of oscillation at this point. Something happened that made this image spread out and then contract again. I don't know, get off course or something like that. But then it shrinks back as if it was traveling along, and then something happened and then it resumed where it was going. And we can see these little dots along this image. If this is a constant pulse rate, then that sort of implies this thing was traveling along at some steady speed.
I'm really curious about this one, because it looks like some sort of a damped harmonic resonance. You're seeing something that's making that motion from a still camera, or the camera is getting excited.
Harmonic resonance would occur if the camera was vibrating. Jostling the camera would create a blur of light, but it would be symmetrical in shape, which does not appear to be the case here.
You didn't hammer the camera now, did you?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, that was my initial guess.
Imagine that the field of view of the camera were to oscillate up and down like this over a short period of time. You'd get a series of things like this, I don't know how you get something like multiple light images, making this sort of a bunch of parallel lights. You got a whole bunch of very fine filamentary curves there. And I don't know what that means. But at the very least, we can say this is unusual or bizarre, or not expected. There's something strange going on. There certainly isn't any airplane that goes into a motion like that and lives.
According to weather records for that night, there were no strange weather anomalies. There were no thunder showers, lightning, or rain. There were no reports of commercial or military aircraft over the area. Further, there was no reported comet or meteor activity visible in the area.
The coordinate photo is one of the best pieces of evidence from a scientific standpoint that we've been able to collect around the concept of vortexes.
The strange distortion could be evidence of an unusual energy pattern, the first criterion of hotspot correlation. The second criterion, that of continuing sightings and anomalous behavior, has been documented by Bruce Cornett's meticulous photographs. The Stewart Air National Guard Base in Newburgh, New York, is 16 miles away from Pine Bush. The third UFO hotspot criterion is the presence of military. The final criterion is that an area be considered sacred or hallowed. This would seem to be a remote possibility for a rural part of the Hudson River Valley. Or is it? While some researchers cite the presence of a Jewish cemetery, there is another potentially sacred location just outside of town that continues to baffle UFO researchers. This quiet countryside seems a world away from the ancient monuments that dot the European landscape. But there are dozens of mysterious structures that suggest that some ancient people considered this land profoundly spiritual, hundreds, if not thousands, of years ago.
In this area, there are a number of these standing stones with very ancient structures. And we are convinced that these structures date back to possibly as old as 2000 BC.
Enigmatic stone chambers and standing stones dot the valley. Historians debate fiercely who constructed these impressively designed buildings. It's been suggested that they are the work of Native Americans, but the Algonquins tended to build their structures from the plentiful timber in the valley. Others believe the chambers are root cellars, constructed by early European settlers. But a root cellar built above ground won't protect vegetables during the winter. Why were these chambers constructed? Philip Imbrogno, author of Celtic Mysteries, believes that the chambers were built by ancient Celts who maintained a temporary colony in North America. Moreover, he believes the placement of the chambers proves the Celts were following a definite plan.
This area seems to attract thousands and thousands of UFO sightings, and he can't explain why, except to say that perhaps it's the organized magnetic lines of the Earth that are almost kind of a magnet for the UFOs themselves, almost like a highway.
The chamber's alignment to the stars does seem to match the alignment of ancient monuments in England and Ireland, and stone structures and monoliths played an important role in Celtic religious beliefs. Although no two chambers are identical, they do share some characteristics. Most are rectangular, with an interior approximately 6 feet high. The chambers are from 10 to 15 feet deep and 6 to 7 feet wide. The walls are made from medium-sized stones, but the ceiling stones are usually 7 feet long and 1 to 2 feet thick and wide. Like Stonehenge, they seem to be aligned to the position of the setting sun during winter solstice.
What's the UFO connection to all this?
The way I got interested into these chambers was because of my investigation into the Hudson Valley UFO, where thousands of people from all walks of life saw an enormous object in the sky. So I plotted the general UFO reports on a map, and I found out something interesting. They weren't scattered all over the place. They were concentrated in clusters. First location we came to was in Lake Carmel, New York, and we're walking up the trail looking for something, and I come across an obelisk like this and a chamber. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Next location, another chamber.
Correlating with a cluster?
Yes. And the next, and I said, after the third and fourth time, I said, this has got to be more than a coincidence. The location of these chambers and these stones has something to do with the idea of UFOs. There's a connection.
According to Imbrogno, the Hudson Valley UFO sightings line up geographically with these enigmatic stone structures.
There seems to be a strong correlation between, if not the chambers themselves, the area where the chambers are located and where these UFO sightings occur.
It's not just speculation. There is a direct correlation between the UFO sightings, especially in the Hudson Valley, and the location of these chambers.
Hudson Valley, Sedona, Arizona, Stonehenge in England, all spots on the Earth's grid where energies form a vortex, and those vortexes are gateways, possibly to other universes or other dimensions.
The team concludes the area around Pine Bush qualifies as a UFO vortex. When the next site, Stonehenge, is put to the test by the team, will it prove to be more than just a famous tourist attraction?
Very slowly.
Look at that.
Okay, I did not do that.
Did its builders tap into a force that is still attracting something? Stonehenge is one of the most famous prehistoric sites in the world. 5,000 years ago, an unknown people began erecting massive stones and aligning them with the sun and stars. Stonehenge is believed to sit on the intersection of several ley lines, and the crisscrossing of these lines could theoretically produce a kind of vortex responsible for the area's long history of anomalous sightings. A consistent history of phenomena and a reputation for being sacred, the team instantly concludes that 2 of the 4 criteria for indicating a UFO vortex are fulfilled. Salisbury Plain is the United Kingdom's largest military training area, with more than 12 military installations less than 20 miles from Stonehenge. In fact, during filming, the team, along with Stonehenge itself, was regularly rattled by the powerful sounds of nearby weapon testings. The 3rd criterion for a vortex has been met. The team still needs to determine whether the area also contains abnormal energy signatures. The famous standing stones are only a small part of the Stonehenge complex. The area is ringed with barrows, ancient burial mounds. The barrows are reported to rest on the same energy fields as Stonehenge, and also have had sightings associated with them.
This is Kenneth Parsons, who's providing us with the 1990 David Tickle footage of UFOs that were shot over the barrow mounds here at Stonehenge.
On and off, there's a manifestation of something up here in the sky. It could be a UFO, or it could be related to these Earth energies. But there's definitely a lot of activity, so things are happening there on that mound. Could well be related to the ley lines here and the earth energies.
May 7th, 1990, record producer David Tickle is taking a leisurely drive across Salisbury Plain on his way to Guilford. At 3 o'clock, he stops at Stonehenge and videotapes the standing stones and the barrows with an analog video recorder. To his amazement, the camera captures something he can't explain. White objects seem to be appearing and disappearing in the sky over an oval barrow. At the same time, several black objects on the top of the barrow blink in and out of existence, apparently in sync with the objects in the sky.
I think these objects could well follow the ley lines because, I mean, it's so close to the Stonehenge monument over these barrows. That could well be a UFO, and these here could be earth energy. You keep seeing things popping up and down the mounds, black things.
The objects in the sky could possibly be analog video artifacts, flaws that appear when an ultra-bright object overrides the circuitry and produces a false image. But that doesn't explain the dark images appearing on the mound, nor is there any explanation of why the dark balls are appearing and disappearing in time with the white objects.
Now, why is the UFO seeming to like wink in and out of existence? I don't understand why it appears and disappears and appears and disappears.
This is how these objects often operate. They seem to be dimension hoppers. They will go in and out of our reality.
You're saying that the UFOs aren't attracted to this area.
They can be.
emanate from this
sent
area.
out from.
They can, I have seen them attracted to these sites as well. But I've never seen this where you've got the energies and the UFO all on tape like that. That's extraordinary.
While the team finds the video evidence impressive, the low quality of the analog tape calls the footage into question. Tickle and Parsons, however, are convinced that this footage is indeed evidence of Earth energies and UFOs over Stonehenge.
UFOs seem to travel along ley lines, along the energy grid, as if they're attracted to it. But in this particular case, what we saw over the barrow was that UFOs seem to be winking in and out of existence, almost as though they're traveling in between dimensions.
Moving on to the famous standing stones at the center of the Stonehenge complex, the team meets with Maria Wheatley and Leslie Taylor.
As we have special access to the stones, let's go in and see if we can find a ley line.
The team is curious to see if they can trace intersecting lines of energy, which are said to lie under Stonehenge, with the ancient art of dowsing. Dowsers believe that when a sensitive person passes over a line of force, involuntary muscle movements occur. Handheld sticks or metal rods exaggerate the tiny movements and make them more visible. The dowsing rod has no intrinsic power of its own. It acts only as an indicator of forces being detected by the human body.
Ley lines are lines of force, and ancient sites such as Stonehenge were sited upon these lines. So if we stand just about here and I walk across the grass here, my rod should cross roughly about there and about 4 or 5 paces further on. And that's the width of the energy band coming in towards the altar stone. And the altar stone was over there. It was the centerpiece in the monument. And there we go. There's the first reaction. And there's the second reaction, which is perfectly in line with the heel stone. Would you like a go?
That's amazing. Sure.
Maria claims she has discovered one of the lines of energy running through Stonehenge. Pat attempts to duplicate her findings.
I'm walking. It's doing the thing. Didn't really go all the way this side. It's pointing that way now. I swear I'm not doing anything. I'm just walking very slowly.
Look at that.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
I did not do that.
Look, and it's right by that stone.
I am not doing this.
Well done, well done.
Well done, Pat.
It really did turn. It turned both times. And I have to say, I was really weirded out by it. I've never done it before, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. But it did turn, so there is something to it.